Exactly 1 year ago, we officially announced that on 2024 Ford F-150s that Apple Autos is going to start selling these trucks for $47,799 with 725 horsepower. And exactly 1 year later, Apple Autos has sold 38 of these trucks. All 38 of these trucks have been shipped nationwide. Multiple ones of these trucks have been featured on all types of different large pages. All types of these trucks have been beating the absolute living crap out of the last year. And today we're going to talk about why, after 1 year, after 38 of these trucks have been just absolutely beat on, why this is the best purchase that you can make if you're a car enthusiast right now. And welcome to Performance on Wheels. My name is Todd. My son Austin and I, we make all sorts of videos on all sorts of different cars. Today, join us as we check out this amazingly beautiful Atlas Blue Metallic 2024 F-150 with the legendary Whipple supercharger on it. Now in today's video, we're not just going to repeat everything we've said in the past. Yeah, we're going to check out this spec because that is always fun, but we're also just going to talk through some of those known potential reliability issues that might happen in your F-150 if you choose to go the Whipple route. Now, before my dad and I start diving into why we think this is the ultimate purchase for an automotive enthusiast in 2024, 2025, I want to go over something. I want to clear the air that was brought up in our recent video on the F-150 Sleeper, and that pertains to the reliability of this vehicle. Now, I have a close relationship with Apple Autos. They're who supplies all these trucks. They're the ones that actually build these in-house. Ford does not put that Whipple supercharger on directly from their factory. It is put on at the dealership, and as long as a Whipple technician installs that supercharger, it still does retain the warranty. Now, you may be wondering, how have the 38 trucks that Apple Autos has sold over the last year held up? Well, I will let you know that all 38 of these trucks that have been shipped US-wide, a majority of which are beating the living crap out of, like drag strip runs, dyno runs, figuring out the actual power numbers. Like, people have beaten the crap out of these, some of them being local to the dealership here. And out of all 38 of these trucks, ones that are driven reliably, that were purchased by some older gentlemen, and ones that are purchased by some younger gentlemen that beat the crap out of them.
Looking to get
absolutely zero powertrain issues out of either the 5-liter V8 or the 10-speed transmission. And no, the transmission is not modified. It is the factory 10-speed from Ford, and that factory 10-speed you can also find on the factory 702 horsepower Ford Raptor R.
All right. So just calm down with the sales pitch here.
Sorry.
Yes, this is awesome. It's amazing that you can get this over 300 horsepower from a stock 5-liter V8.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you can like walk into the dealership and say, hey, I want that, and they're willing to work with you on it, right? So no, it's not a Ford-backed warranty, right? It's Whipple standing by their product.
Yep.
However, it's not just unicorns and rainbows and fireworks and woo! Like there are and there is the possibility of failures.
There is not everything.
I want to talk through that a little bit. So, right, most of the vehicles that you're reading that have failures are not the Whipple tune. It's someone that has gone outside of the Whipple tune. There's also a lot of failures with people that aren't using the proper octane. And there's also a lot of failures with the catalytic converters. Now, the catalytic converters can lead to a 5-liter grenading, yep. But most of those 5 liters that have grenaded are associated with a stage 2 and beyond tune. So if you want to start playing with fire, there is the ability to do that. But if you want to have a really good time with a reliable vehicle, the Whipple with 700 horsepower, the F-150, 5-liter from Ford, like, it's a pretty darn good time. And it is reliable.
It is, and it is reliable too. Now, I do want to bring up one thing. If I were to go into ordering one of these trucks, I would do what the majority of our previous customers have done. Take a really quick listen to this. what you just listened to is a Stage 2 F-150. Now, you don't have to do the Stage 2 F-150, but what is equipped on this Stage 2 F-150 is a catted Y-pipe, a high-flow catted Y-pipe connected to the Corsa Extreme exhaust. Now, the reason this is so important is this is the biggest failure point of these trucks is the catalytic converters, and this prevents that from happening. So I think this is a huge benefit and an upgrade. It sounds fantastic. Maybe don't go with the Corsa Extreme because this is probably one of the loudest vehicles I've ever heard. And now a quick word
From today's sponsor.
this is the Highboy P6 electric mountain bike. Thanks to a powerful electric motor, hill climbs have never been easier. And with 60 miles of range, you can spend all day on the trails. Thanks to these fat tires, you can ride this thing year-round. This adjustable front fork with lockout is extremely fun to take out on the trails and makes it easy to do hill climbs. And for safety, the Highboy comes equipped with a light and a horn.
This is the Highboy Max Pro. Whether your commute takes you on-road or your adventure takes you off-road, the Max Pro has you covered. Thanks to the Max Pro's pneumatic tires and full suspension, it makes your adventure easy as can be. With a weight capacity of 265 pounds and a range of over 40 miles, you can rock your Max Pro all day long at speeds over 20 miles per hour.
I genuinely love this company's products and I highly, highly recommend them. I've had so much fun taking these out on the local trails by my house on these beautiful fall days here in Minnesota. If you guys are interested in purchasing a Highboy, be sure to check out our link down in the description below for an additional 5% off of your purchase.
We're gonna get to just this spec in a minute because I think it's fun to talk over what this customer chose for their little bundle of joy, their little party they're bringing home in a few days, right? But like first, just to reiterate a few things, like Stage 2 is the ultra rowdy, right? And people will install that for you and they'll have a good time. But I'm just saying, when you look back and you read through the forums, that's when some incidents start occurring. Stage 1, there's very, very few incidents, if any, that I can find that aren't either backed by Whipple and saying, oh yeah, something happened there, we'll cover it, here's the failure. Or the other things that I've been reading are people that just aren't maintaining their trucks well. You're not sticking to oil change intervals, you're not putting the right spark plugs in. And this is going back from 2024, right? Yeah. So you look back at 2021s, 2022s, and there are some failure points there, but it's either lack of maintenance, not proper octane being used, or getting a little too rowdy with the tune.
All right, now that we have all of the warranty, unreliable stuff out of the way, I want to talk about how I genuinely feel deep down that this is the greatest deal for a new car purchase. Now, I'm a huge automotive enthusiast. Like, I love high horsepower V8s. I'm all for like I've got a pretty rowdy Corvette at home. He's got a pretty rowdy Jaguar F-Type SVR at home. We're all for supercharged high horsepower V8s that are rowdy as can be. Now, there's so many new vehicles that I drive in these days and ages. For example, the new Mustang GT. I think it's a fantastic car.
Yeah, it is.
It's really, really fun to drive. I think it's amazing that Ford is still putting the V8 in a Mustang. But I get behind the wheel of them and it feels numb to me. It doesn't have that experience that so many vehicles of the past had. I really miss that feeling of just being connected to the road. Now, these F-150s are so rowdy. They're so over the top. They're so bare bones that it kind of takes me back to the past a little bit on vehicles that had too much power for their own good.
Yeah, and I think what you're trying to say, Austin, is like, you like the feeling of a vehicle that makes you feel like it's going to kill you a little bit.
I absolutely do, and there are not many vehicles today with all of the regulations and safety standards that the government and manufacturers have put out that give me the feeling that this brand new vehicle gives me. So I understand that it's $50,000 for a brand new base model truck, but it's also $50,000 for a truck with tons of technology technology in it. A truck with over 700 horsepower and a warranty on it. A truck that, I mean, it's just so usable in so many different ways. It rides better than anything that's old, and it still gives that rowdy feeling that classic muscle cars give me. And I can't find that anywhere else. And I've driven like basically everything that's new, and nothing gives me the rowdiness feel that this truck gives me.
You're not wrong, Austin. And one thing we're working towards here on Performance on Wheels is having our own studio and our own shop. We're actually in the process of starting to put that together. So stay tuned for the next year-long journey in that regard by hitting that like and subscribe button and showing our report some support in that regard. But the F-150 and the whole like sleeper concept is something that we're genuinely interested in building ourselves on the channel. So just stay tuned for that, because it's not out of the question yet. We do have a couple other items on our radar. So talking about just the build on this one specifically, Austin, really basic. We're in the XL package. We're lowered, right? And we also have some exhaust.
Yeah, so this one has the Borla S-Type exhaust. It has the cheaper of the IHC suspension setups, which lower this thing down. I believe it's a 3.5 drop, which gives it a much better stance, but it also handles a lot better than stock. Other than that, this thing's totally stock. We do have, I don't remember if it's the 102A package on this one. I think it's the 102A, which gives you the chrome bumpers as well as a vinyl interior, which, I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat, right?
No, I think it looks really cool,
because I really like the chrome.
Yeah, it actually makes the atomic blue just absolutely pop. This color is gorgeous if you haven't seen one in person. This
cool
was
color.
the color we were talking about ordering if we were to order one. And they also put a nice hard shell tonneau cover on the back, which is a really cool feature.
And a spray and bed liner.
Yeah,
very
so
necessary.
Awesome stuff that everything Apple Autos can do for you. Cryptic Customs, the specialty customization division at Apple Autos, can take care of all this for you, which is really cool. The other thing that I just really like, and this is a comment from our previous videos if you haven't watched, like the XL trim in 2024 is pretty rock solid. The seats are comfortable. You get the big like 12.3-inch screen standard in there. It feels like a luxurious, it feels like a well put together truck, even on the lowest trim. So you're really getting something special here that gives you the rowdiness, that gives you the tech, that gives you the performance, and that's an ultimate smile maker. It's really a win-win-win situation. Going back, just touching on some of the points of the video, of the reliability in the video, is like side exit exhaust. I was reading through some articles that said the side exit exhaust could be one of the failure points related to the catalytic converters. And this is because of the back pressure and how the back pressure can be screwed up. So as you're speccing your F-150 sleeper, just keep that in mind. Not saying it's going to happen. That's just one of the theories out there.
So why are these trucks so good behind the wheel? One, they're super easy to control. With the two-door short box layout, or the single cab short box layout, these trucks have a very short wheelbase, which give them not much longer of a wheelbase than your standard car. So they're really easy to control around corners, and ultimately, once lowered and with the right suspension setup, they handle really well too. And also, this generation of F-150 has really great feedback throughout the steering wheel, so you actually feel very engaged as a driver. I wanted to touch on one thing that you brought up. This is a XL. This is just a super base truck, and that's in every which way. You throw it up in the air, you look on the underside, you see everything on the inside. This is a very basic truck. And now one of the huge benefits to that is it gives me the confidence of working on it. You know, you step up into some of these higher trims and stuff gets really complicated in today's day and age. There's some stuff in there that I personally wouldn't touch, but on this truck, there's so many like I get this huge sense of accomplishment when I take on a big project on my Corvette. And I feel super confident doing every single job on that. And now if I bought one of these, I would do the same thing.
Right.
I could gut the whole interior. I could put aftermarket seats in it. I could do a sweet carpeted floor liner. I could do a headliner. I could do a dash. I could do whatever on the motor on the underside. Like, I'm super confident taking on any projects on this because it's just this super basic platform that is so easy to do whatever you want to. It's just this modular platform that you can lift, you can lower. I mean, it's such a cool
You hit the
design.
nail on the head, Austin. I love it. The thing important I keep bouncing back to in the video as we're just enjoying these sleeper trucks is like the maintenance, right? So this is a vehicle you don't want to skimp on, in my opinion. You can do what you want, obviously, but this is the vehicle you want to be on the low end of the oil change intervals, and you want to be on the low end of your fluid changes, whether it's your rear end, your transmission. Like, you want to stay up on that. This isn't the vehicle you want the Walmart special on your spark plugs. You want to use high quality spark plugs, and that's something you're going to be changing on a more regular basis. That's something you're going to maybe want to be taking a look at when you're doing your oil changes, just reading your spark plug, see what that tune is telling you, see what that motor is telling you.
I think this is the greatest vehicle that you can purchase in 2024, 2025, and so on, because I think this is the only vehicle on the market that brings back that classic gearhead, that classic muscle truck, that classic American muscle feel that so many vehicles have lost over the years, that has been drawn out of so many different cars, that their personality has gotten sucked out of them by regulations. That's why I think this is the greatest truck.
I don't disagree with you at all.
Right now. That is why I stand by this truck. That is why I would buy one of these trucks. There's just nothing else like it that can back a warranty, that has the capabilities of this platform. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I love these trucks. I'm truly passionate about them. It's something I greatly enjoy talking about, riding in, working on. I just love these things. I think they're super cool, and I'd love to see if you guys share the same passion for this platform that I do, because there's just no other manufacturers that are giving us the opportunity to do something like this anymore, like Ford is currently doing. So you just have to really be thankful for Ford, because all of these other brands that are dwindling out their sports cars and large displacement motors, the fact that Ford is even allowing Whipple to back a warranty against their motor is pretty dang cool.
I agree.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today's video. Really appreciate your support. If you're willing to hit like and hit subscribe, like my dad mentioned, we do have a studio coming in the near future, as well as a large car purchase. We're between a few vehicles, such as, like what is behind me, the sleeper F-150. Orders for the 2025 order banks just opened, so we could potentially order one of those.
Good.
We also are looking at potentially getting a C6 Corvette ZR1, a Gen 5 Dodge Viper, and a 2020 plus Mustang Shelby GT500. Let me know which one of those vehicles you would choose down in the comments below. Have a great rest of your day.